What?
No, I just want, yeah. Use more hand gestures. Yeah.
Please don't keep that in. Hey everyone, today I wanted to go ahead and review a movie called Mermaid Song. It's also been labeled as Charlotte's Song. I found it while scrolling through Hulu under the horror section, and I was like, summer, mermaid, horror movie, yes, let's watch it. The Mermaid Song is a dark fantasy movie. It's based on Hans Christian Andersen's Little Mermaid. Basically, it begins where the Little Mermaid story that we're used to ends. So it's like the after story. It's set in the 1930s, and it follows a man and his daughters who run a dinner and show type of business. Because the mermaid left the ocean, there must be a sort of balancing, and one of her daughters eventually must return to the ocean. So this isn't a spoiler, but the mother eventually commits suicide in order to correct the balancing. She hopes that it's going to have to prevent one of her daughters to have to return back to the ocean. Eventually, the family falls on hard times during the Dust Bowl, especially due to the mother's sacrifice. Ewan Rand, which we're all familiar with from Game of Thrones, was in this movie, and he played the rich, evil tycoon that comes in with his awful intentions and invests in the business. The business turns into more of a strip slash brothel joint. But it's like I don't feel like it's overly done. It's just kind of like implied. Yeah, I don't feel like it overtakes the story at all.
It's not gratuitous?
No, it's not gratuitous. One day, one of the strong arms that he left there to watch over his investment decides that he is going to assault the youngest girl that is part of the business, who really isn't a part of any of the shows. And she starts realizing that she's different. And she realizes that she has control of others with her voice, and she can read other people's thoughts. The girl's grandmother turns out to be someone familiar to us who grew up on the Disney version. And she gives Charlotte a lot of the lore and the origins of her past. And I thought the legend part was like one of the most interesting parts of the movie. I love the look of the book, the epic book that held the lore of her species as well. The movie is gritty in parts. It is a dark coming of age story for Charlotte, our main character. In some parts of the movie, the score is definitely too loud. And it overpowers some of the more important conversations, the more crucial scenes of dialogue in the film, which is one of the things that kind of took away from it. There were a couple of twists in the movie that were super interesting, and I found the creature effects to be pretty good and interesting. I loved the touches of magic and realistic fantasy in the movie. I thought overall it was a creative idea for a film. It's definitely worth at least watching once, especially if you're into like the 1930s era or into mermaid lore. In my opinion, it sort of left it open for maybe a possible sequel. I would definitely watch a sequel to this movie. I just want to see more mermaid horror. I honestly don't really know if this should have been labeled as horror, though. It is in the horror section of Hulu, so it was more of just like a dark fantasy than anything else, in my opinion. But if you guys have seen it, let me know what you guys think. I am definitely looking forward to checking out more mermaid horror. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys later.